table. And as Archie discovered, a real cup tie atmosphere to savour this afternoon.
Well, as far as Dundee United is concerned, the least said about the past week, the better. Quite unlike them to pick up only 1 point in 2 games and lose heavily down at Love Street. They've made one significant change today because Derek Stark is unfit. And into the team at number 9, but I think he'll be playing in midfield, is young Gary McGuinness. The last time I saw young Gary was in Mexico, where he was a stalwart in the Scottish professional youth squad. There's Aberdeen, and that is exactly the same team as played in Hamburg on Tuesday night with that excellent result. One man who'll be very keen to notch up a goal today is number 9, Mark McGee. If he scores, it will be his 100th, and the form that he showed indicates that he might just reach that pinnacle. The referee today is George Smith from Edinburgh. While despite the weather, a huge Aberdeen support today. Perhaps as big a support as I've seen at Tannadice outside of the visiting Celtic and Rangers. Well, not surprisingly, almost a cup tie atmosphere about this game. Very important for United in particular. Lose this one, and I think they'll find life very difficult in the league for the rest of the season. That's offside. Willie Miller. Simplicity itself in that clearance. Eddie. Number 5, Hegarty. Watch the pace of Mill. That's if he can get the ball, and that's good play by United. He has it now, all right. Willie Miller with him. Forced into that. You know, Willie Miller does a lot of things that so regularly you begin to absorb them as a matter of custom. And the way I think he was going to be beaten by pace, but he was still shielding the goal. He forced Mill into that stabbing cross, which ended up rather as a futile ball. Free kick. That was Peter Weir going down. There's Strachan. Off the back of the head of the United defender. Brilliantly saved. Superb stuff by Aberdeen. United defence fully stretched. McAlpin at the centre of it and doing very well. Way by Cooper. On into McGuinness. Eddie forced into that. And pushing there by David Dodds. Dave nearly took a knock in that last tackle, by the way. There's Mr. McLean. Just a little too much for Mark McGee. Nice turning, can it be put back? It is, it's there. Dougie Bell 1-0. There was a deflection, but the goal is credited to Dougie Bell after 8 minutes, 1-0 for Aberdeen. A goal coming from the right, as it had promised earlier in the match. And as so many players at Aberdeen got in there for that ball, Bell getting that touch, which was rendered totally unsavable by the deflection in any case. Eamon Bannon goes to the outside. Nobody there for United. A good response by United to that. Brilliantly headed by Paul Hegarty. McLeish. Here's Strachan. Hegarty doing very well in the air against Mark McGee. And here is Strachan. Just to the side, there might even been a touch. Yes. McAlpin pleading innocent, but I think that was a save, and it's a corner kick. Good effort by Strachan. I'm sure the United defence thought he was going to lay it off to the left. Look at the way he suddenly changed his mind, swept it in low, and there was the touch. A lot of colour, that rugby's up powerfully. McLeish, and an easier one now for Hamish McAlpin. Whoa! Trooper. Look at the determination. Very disciplined way they walked out of that tight spot. Holt. Good passing. Oh, what a finish. That was one of the best moves of the game. 1-0 for Aberdeen. Goal scored by Dougie Bell, and Peter Weir picks it up. He might get a touch. He does. And the rebound, Weir. Weir making the run. And Mark McGee coming up for the rebound. He really injected a last second bit of pace, just stretched out it, the ball rebounded, looked, there was McGee, goal gaping, his 100th goal looming, and it didn't work out. There it goes. David Dodds, referee is in the way, but unfortunate. Bannon, and that's a good tackle again by Cooper, but it breaks to Dodds. Milner's inside. That's a slithering one. Intelligent ball across because it drew the goalkeeper. He wasn't quite sure whether he was going to make it or not. But what let United down again? Not enough players forward for it. Maybe they should have umbrellas for linesmen. There goes the half-time whistle. There's only one goal in it. And when you trace its origins, you see that Mark McGee was at the root of it. The strength of the run and the cross, touched back by Hewitt. Now, there certainly was a deflection, but one gets the impression that Dougie Bell would have swept it away in any case. However, it was totally unsavable eventually. And that goal is the only difference between the two teams. Well, just look at that weather, but there is one man absolutely delighted to step out into it. There he is, Paul Sturrock. It doesn't matter which team you support. If you love football, I'm sure you're glad to see the sight of this man back, who's been so long out of the Dundee United side because of injury. The manager said before the start of the game that he wasn't likely to play Paul from the start. He was frightened it might be a little bit dispirited by lack of pace. And now with his team one goal behind, Paul Sturrock is on, and immediately United have pulled up for offside. Well, there's a lovely touch. Handshake there by Gordon Strachan. A very wet, damp afternoon. Might have come off the back of Weir, it did. Dodds. Weir. Oh, superb running. Got to use the right foot, and he does! Well, now here's a player blessed with natural talent. He can do that on either wing, and this occasion on the right. It's very difficult to pass players when you're right in the touchline, which he did. Now, the final ball, absolutely superb with his right foot. And as I say, he can do it with either. And here is Weir over on the other side. Sturrock. Lovely ball to Mill. Away he goes. Cross goes Rugby and into the stand with it. No messing about. Rather wet-looking Ralph Mill. Mixture of rain and sweat. Off the back, David Dodds. Nobody again with them there. Strachan, magnificent spot. Dragged the whole of the United defence with him. And driven in, and Hamish McAlpin from Weir. It was always very low. I think the only possible chance he had of beating Hamish was to put it away to the top right, which it never was. Well, Alec Ferguson risking the rain. Both he and Jim McLean have been bouncing back and forward from the dugout to the track quite a bit. Murray, free kick, almost wrestled down. Good ball he laid to the side as well. Very impressive second half, mainly because of the way United are fighting back. Looked like pushing there, and that's Sturrock. The right thing. Oh, maybe in 2 matches' time he would have sunk that home, but he was right to have a go first time at it, and it was always rising over. There you are, there's Paul Sturrock. The very presence of the man inspiring the players around him. Weir gets away that time and is brought down by Malpas. Rather harsh rebuke from the referee. Mill. I said at the start the game was like a cup tie. It hasn't really abated. And like this all the way through. Eamon Bannon. Cooper. Richard Goff. Boy Hegarty. Fouled. Well, as things stand, Mr. McGee there has got to wait perhaps for another game to get that 100th goal. David Dodge, Milne, all off. I think intimidated by the presence of Willie Miller. How often, I mean, I don't think we've quite yet worked out the percentage of efforts or chances that a team gets that's spoiled by this man, Willie Miller, simply by being there, either deflection or his very presence. McGee into this path of Gordon Strachan, who might finish it. He has! Brilliantly! Oh, what a brilliant finish! The ball from McGee, put in his path, and there was a slight slip, but as it went away to the side, the chances of scoring decreased rapidly. I mean, there had to be the deadliest accuracy for it, and it was. That is absolutely superb. 29 minutes of the second half gone, and I think that kills the game off. Coyne. Offside. Still seeking his first goal, Tommy Coyne, since joining United. Lovely back header. Oh, Strachan. Genius. Wants a return pass and the goalkeeper gets it. Oh, let's have a look at that one. It's that kind of almost crouch position. The ball almost glued to him. He wriggles his way, jinks his way, then lays it off. That's great stuff. Well, Coyne. Simpson, there's no offside. Here's Hewitt. McGee is up. Hewitt tries it himself and McGee couldn't put it away. Oh, well, he probably thought that that was the better option, going for it himself. McGee by this time had been covered. And the rebound was a possible chance. Good anticipation by McLeish. Little unsure as to where to put it. McGee takes it down brilliantly. Still McGee. Can he get the touch? No. It's a corner kick. Well, in fact, both McGee and I think it's a corner kick. The referee doesn't. Oh, I think that's unfair. I think that's very interesting. I'm quite convinced that McGee thought that was a corner kick. I thought it was. Now, football spots television evidence, but I would willingly submit that Mark McGee, from that evidence, thought that that was a corner kick and pushed it away to the far side. I think that... I know what went through George Smith's mind, and the referee ultimately has to use his judgment on that. Sometimes it's a very fine judgment indeed. I think you've got to learn the manager's gestures as part of the course at Aberdeen. Helps. Goff. Low one. Not an easy ball. Never an easy ball in this surface. Look how well he killed the whole thing.
Well, you know, some people didn't like the game, but I must say I did. It certainly flagged for periods, especially in the second half when Aberdeen seemed to disappear for a while. But there were appealing features to the afternoon. For example, the return of Paul Sturrock, who might have lost some of the sharpness, but whose subtle touches gave a new look to the predictable United attack. Willie Miller, almost perfection again, and giving the suspicion that there's a microchip running him from somewhere in the cranium. And above all, Gordon Strachan, who had a purple patch in the second half, which in my book overshadows everything else, merely because the paying customer wants to see his kind of play more than any other kind. Aberdeen are really on song. Congratulations to them, by the way, for the fine performance against Hamburg, and to Celtic for theirs in Nottingham on a night that enhanced the prestige of a game both on and off the field here and in Europe. Now, during the game,